Welcome. I'm coming to you live from one of my favorite towns in the entire universe, Las Vegas, Nevada. I drove here this morning from San Diego. I'm here. I'm going to go with Nerdrotic and some of those guys. They're having a party in just north of the Strip at this Millennium Fandom Bar. So I'm going to go to that. So that's where we're having a special episode, nice and early. Shant is here, and our new co-host, Jericho Green, is here. My green screen is terrible because it's just from the laptop. Anyway, boys, how are you doing? Welcome. How's everyone?
Great.
Awesome. Great to be back.
Right. Yeah. Oh, man, I am so excited about this movie. We were all talking right before we went on how we watched it. And, I haven't seen it in 2-3 years, and it is really good. We all agree this is Seagal at the height of his powers, right? And but one thing, before we get out for justice, I want to tease a little something for the channel guys. Todd Xenofonte, you may not know his name, but you've seen him if you love Van Damme. Check this out, guys. I had dinner in Chinatown 2 weeks ago, thrown by Ron Hall, and there were luminaries of the Hong Kong martial arts and American, action cinema and all that. Benny the Jet Urquidez was there. Sheldon Lettich, writer of like Lionheart and I think Bloodsport and Rambo 3 and all that stuff. It was a great time, like 200 people there, legends of martial arts cinema. And Todd, who you see is like a doppelganger for Jean-Claude Van Damme, we hit it off. We sat at the same table, and I interviewed him for an hour yesterday, and he told me his story about how he went from some guy from Dunmore, Pennsylvania, that's like a little suburb of Scranton, I guess, to being Jean-Claude Van Damme's photo double, stand-in, and then eventual stuntman. So I recorded an hour of that. I'm going to chop that up into like 4 or 5 videos. He's giving me all kinds of great photos. It's going to be really fun. And then we're going to have Todd as a guest on the show sometime. He's going to pick his favorite Van Damme film or whatever has cool stories in it, and he's going to tell us all about it. So you're going to get it right from the horse's mouth. That's going to be really, really fun. What do you guys think of that, Jericho, Sean?
I just got 2 things. Number one, what are the chances that there's a person out there on the other side of the world who grows up to look like Jean-Claude Van Damme,
right?
Plus the body type, the picture where they're in tank tops, arms folded,
right?
Their bodies look the same.
Oh yeah. Let me get back to that.
That's creepy.
What are the chances?
Yeah. I don't know, man. I don't know.
And second thing, the black and white clip there, I believe that is from Double Team.
Double Team with Mickey Rourke.
Coliseum, right?
Oh yeah, dude. When
that movie.
In my interview, he talks about the tiger and all that stuff. Oh. And I'll save it for.
Fellas.
Should I save it for the interview? He told me something hilarious. This is tiny. I'll tell you. He said he got told about the stunt, what they were going to do, and the line. The tiger trainer's like, "Don't worry," and all this stuff. But he said right before they filmed it for the first take, he just called his mom to let her know, "Hey, Mom, we're doing some stunts. There's a tiger. Yeah, the tiger's really safe. It's going to be fun."
But in case I get fucked up.
Just in case.
Of all the futures you imagine for your baby boy, I guarantee you.
No mom wants that phone call.
Right.
Well, that movie, Double Team, is an exquisite piece of shit. I mean,
it's beautiful.
It top to bottom is. Oh my goodness. It's like one of those really funky cheeses. It's so stinky that it's good. I mean,
it's a gorgonzola of action.
It is.
Perhaps, it has hints of Roquefort too in it.
Maybe a Limburg, maybe a little Limburg in there.
Put some stank on it. So, how are you guys doing otherwise? We're going to get to Out for Justice, but how are we doing otherwise?
Doing great, fellas. I'm glad to be back. Glad to be a part of it. Glad to see your faces.
All right. And Shant,
I'm doing great, man. There. We're moving more copies of the book. We're just having a great time making artwork. And I tell you what, guys, I was telling my wife about this, and I said, the last time I really had a quality conversation about a Steven Seagal movie for hours was like I was a kid. Life is good, period. Right. Cannot complain. Right. Hashtag living my best life.
This is like the school bus ride home, when you're talking about this stuff.
Yeah, man. Who'd win in a fight?
Right. Jay Lee says, Benny the Jet versus Jackie Chan in Wheels on Meals. I just watched that like 4 days ago. That is one of the greatest on film fights of all time. It's an amazing
Jackie Chan, he doesn't get his just desserts.
No,
he doesn't get his due because people that he got mainstream at one point. So you think he's the silly, the funny guy who, hits his head on something and he does his own stunts.
Right.
Jackie Chan is a legit martial arts. You go back to Drunken Master,
Yeah.
legit martial artist. Then, yes, he was great at stunts too, but then he does something like The Foreigner with Pierce Brosnan. Man,
Right.
that dude has range. Jackie Chan needs to go down as one of the greatest martial artists, at least movie martial artists ever.
I think he is for sure. Yeah.
I think, and you said it too. I think he's also as a filmmaker, because what a lot of people, don't realize is I remember watching this behind the scenes where he describes like how he sets up a shot, how he decides where to put the camera. I mean, that guy, outside of being one of the hardest working people in show business, doing his own stunts, the injuries, coming up since he was a kid, I guess, in, the Hong Kong, acting schools and everything like that. But when you watch him talk about how he cuts and edits his fights and how he choreographs it with the camera in mind, he's like Hitchcock for action.
Yeah.
He's a genius.
Yeah. I threw this photo up here of Todd Xenophante, Van Damme's double, then stuntman. Because speaking of Jackie Chan, he said the stunt coordinator on Knockoff, this 1999-98 movie, Van Damme movie, was Sammo Hung, who's in a lot of stuff with Jackie Chan.
That's Jackie Chan's boy, yeah.
I'll save it for the interview clips when I post them. But Todd says the Hong Kong cinema's approach to stuntman antics is a little different than the American approach.
Yeah.
Just a little different, he said. So, that's a lot of fun. All right. So let me share some images from one of you is going to take this right out the gate. Here we go.
Come on, man.
So, Out for Justice, Steven Seagal, his fourth movie, and it gets off to a rocking start. Take it, guys. One in
from the jump. Look, for a good action to have a good action movie, first thing you have to do is make the bad guys bad,
right?
Because you have to justify this beatdown that they're going to get. This dude is a pimp. And he punches one of his girls in the face, close hand, punches her like a man.
Right.
Dude.
And not once. He gives her about 4 or 5, right crosses.
Well, the last one.
You got pregnant from a trick. Remember? It's awful. It's just so awful.
Yeah.
I mean, she broke the rules, but.
Yeah, I mean, the fact that then, when she says, I got pregnant, and that makes him go after worse, you're like, this man needs to die.
Yeah,
right.
It's this man,
Someone needs to grab him by his necktie and throw him into a wall. And
right. So
here we go.
Seagal is Gino and his old neighborhood buddy Bobby. They're like Italians from Brooklyn. By the way, the Brooklyn Italian accent that Seagal has, chef's kiss in this thing. Yeah. It is as stereotypical as it gets. I was talking to you earlier on this week, Jericho, about it. And I thought he was going to say, "Hey, Ma, this is good gravy."
Right here.
Bobby and Gino, they're on some sort of reconnaissance. They're going to bust somebody. Yeah. And then he sees the pimp. And I don't think the pimp is who they're after. I thought they were after someone else. And he's like, just leave it. We got this other thing. And then Seagal runs over there. And this is how the pimp ends up.
It's like the Wicked Witch.
When he got up this morning, he did not think his red gaiters would be sticking out of a windshield. He fucked this dude up. Right. He takes him first. He gets him in one of those little wrist locks, puts his head through the passenger side window. You can see that. It's not because the window's down. It's because his head broke it. Then he grabs him by his necktie and slings him in the air into the wall. And then the guy goes, "Gino, you motherfucker." He rushes him, and then Gino gives him the old wrestling move right over his shoulder through the windshield. And Gabe, you mentioned his accent, which we could do an entire show just on his accent. But the very first thing I wrote in my notes was worst Italian accent ever, all caps.
Oh, bada bing, bada boom.
This shit. I wrote down various quotes that I must mention in their due time. But you take like, "Hey, ma," take that person, and if they have a volume button on the back, just turn that volume all the way up and then snap the handle off so it can't be turned down.
Right.
Holy shit, guys.
Right. Sean, do you think this image here is a nod to the Wizard of Oz and the witches?
It is. I think it is. Absolutely. Dropped a car on his sister.
That's a deep cut. That's a deep cut. If it is, that's a deep cut.
I will say this too, man. It's amazing how this thing about this movie I love when you say it was just off at the races right away. The thing that gets me about it was that you're introducing this guy who's essentially beating up a pregnant woman in broad daylight, punching her close hand, right? And for a movie like this, you got to remember, we're about to get to a real bad guy, quote unquote, after this.
Right.
And so in this world, it's like, how do you want it, dark or darker in terms of these villains? They're just, I mean, this guy is like, he's a small time next to our raging psychopath, broad daylight shooter.
He's
what we're about to get to.
He's a bad guy appetizer.
Yeah.
Right.
That's what he is. And real quick, guys, the very, very first thing we see is an Arthur Miller quote at the very beginning.
Yes, you're
of this
right.
movie. That threw me for a second.
Right. What was the quote again? I remember reading it, and I remember how it felt, but I remember what it said.
I don't remember what it said, but I remember I was like, "Oh wow,
neighborhoods,
this is kind of heady, for an action movie." And then we meet this guy right here.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, Richard Force.
William.
He is Richie. What's the last name? Maldonado.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my gosh, he seems like a low to mid-level mafia guy, and he is unhinged. He smokes crack in front of everybody. He's ultra violent. He's a complete pig, and you hate this guy. Yep. He is just evil, 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 out of control. And the worst part about it, he's so evil, and he does it all with that smile there. He loves being evil. Zero remorse, this guy.
William Forsythe. This should be one of his best performances. I mean, granted, it was in a kind of a corny action movie, but he was great. Like his character, man, you believed that he was this monster from the hair, even the kind of gun he uses. That snub-nosed 44, just the 44 caliber killer, the Son of Sam kind of. This dude, he was evil on many levels, and nobody was safe. He pulls a lady out of her car and shoots her in the head for saying, "Hey, get out of the way," or whatever she said.
Right.
He is a complete monster.
Yeah, so we see Bobby, that's the best friend partner of Seagal, Gino. We see Bobby and his wife, they're shopping at some bodega, and then coming up on him on the street, Richie just smokes him. You see the bullet holes in his chest there, just kills him right in front of his wife and daughter who are in the store. And you see, if you look on his chest right there, as his wife is mourning him, there's a little Polaroid there, and that's going to come in really important later.
Big time. And he spit on him. Forsythe spits on Richie, spits on him right after. You see it hits him in the neck. But he spits on him, and it's all bad, man. Richie is just, he's on it from the very beginning, and he is one of the baddest bad guys. He's up there with Screwface from the last one.
Screwface is like, I don't like that guy. We can't control him. Yeah, I mean, the thing that gets me about this flick, the thing that gets me about this flick, and I just posted the quote in the chat, was the fact that Forsythe in this movie, what I believe you realize when you get towards the tail end of it, which we'll get to, is about 24 hours earlier, he locked himself on a path where he's going to essentially, one-way ticket to getting shot or killed or the electric chair. And that's all it is,
Right. Yeah, absolutely. That's established in the film that he doesn't care about dying. He wants to go out in this blaze of glory. And it's kind of funny. The movie's out for justice, and it seems like this Richie character, he's out for like injustice at the end of what he knows is probably going to be the end of his life.
Out for
he's
ego.
Just going to go on a tear. But
he is just a straight monster, man.
Yeah, this dead woman hanging out of this station wagon. All she did is said, "Hey, can you move the car?" Because he was in that red Camaro with his buddies. Mm-hmm. And he gets out and I think they were in that Camaro. I don't know. They were in
that's what they shot. Yeah, they were driving when they shot Bobby Lupo.
But he shoot, and I saw this movie 2-3 years ago, and I forgot when he pointed the gun at her when I was watching. I thought, oh, is he going to threaten her? And then he blasts her in the face. I'm like, oh my gosh, I forgot.
He pulled her out of the car and shot her point blank in her head for saying, "Move your car."
Yeah. Right. And that's an important part of it. I mean, they set this guy up from the start so that you think every encounter he has after this, that's in the back of your mind.
Right.
You're like, he's going to shoot this person he's talking to. And when he does, it's almost to be expected. Like, you're still like, oh, when's it going to happen? But when he doesn't, you're left with this feeling this person is, not safe. It's rough. I mean,
everything, the dark hair, even his gap teeth, everything worked
as far
as being a villain in this movie. The trench coat, Richie is just crazy, just savage. The lady
Right.
just said, "Move your car."
Right.
Wow.
So he moved her brains out the back of her head instead.
I'll move your brains, lady.
Oh, I'm gonna move your fucking
Hey,
brains,
Manja.
You
This
dumb
movie should have been called
broad.
Manja. Steven Seagal. This summer, Steven Seagal in Manja.
That movie was later in his career.
Way later.
That's right.
That was
Just
a pet
eating
project.
pasta.
Now,
That's
he's
right.
on like the 8th movie in the Manja cinematic universe right now. So
That's right. That's right.
But so after
Oh.
Bobby Lupo gets shot
Hey.
by Richie, the wife, and this is an interesting dynamic here. This is Seagal's wife in the movie, and they're estranged. They're like
Yes.
separated, about to divorce. And she calls him and tells him his friend's been shot. And then Steven Seagal, I want either of you, both
No,
of you,
wait,
to address this.
wait, Gabe, don't wait.
Hold
Don't give us this morsel yet. Hold on.
Okay.
Wait.
Hold it. Hold.
You want me to just show you and not ask you?
Wait, hold on. I know what you're gonna show. What you're gonna show needs its own space. So hold on a second. Wait. Before she picks up the phone, he has his son, right? He's
Right.
watching his son. He's doing his homework at the table. He goes, "Hey, you want to go play some catch?" Yeah. He's like, "Yeah, hey, go get your ball and your bat." You guys stop me when I'm doing too much, when I'm over exaggerating. Okay, you let me know when I'm over exaggerating.
Okay.
Hey, go get your ball and your bat. Hey.
I got your bat right here.
I tell you, man, I feel like this is that scene from Animal House, you know, where he's like, did we quit when the Germans bombed Pearl Harbor? And Gabe and I are like, forget it, he's rolling. Let him go.
Dude.
Oh yeah, he's having this heartfelt moment with
Yeah.
his son, playing
So
a little catch in the yard with the
Yeah,
boys.
little catch with his son. What's more American than that?
Right.
Go to
so he
Olive
finds
Garden,
out.
just like Mama used to make.
You got to massage the tomato. So
Oh.
he gets
But
a
when
phone call. He's about to walk out. This is before cell phones. So if you don't catch me, you don't catch me. I got to catch it on the answer machine.
Right.
So he's about to leave. Phone rings. He goes and gets it. He goes, "Hey," or he's like, "Yeah." What? Oh my God. So then the son knows, he already knows, cop son. He walks back in all sad, puts his bat and his glove down. And then he calls his ex-wife and he's like, "Hey, you got to come get little Tony," or whatever. I think his name is Tony. "You got to come get
Well, it's
Tony."
not Sonny this time.
No, that was hard to kill. Sonny, Tony, Johnny. So
Come and get Manja.
So he shows up to the scene of the crime where Bobby Lupo's
oh
been smoked.
shit.
And I Sean, you're a man of fashion with your headband.
Of course.
Why is he wearing this
Oh.
Special Forces beret?
Let that breathe. Let that breathe. Man.
No,
It's definitely a choice. It's definitely a choice.
This is
Who?
the thing. Something like this, you're right. You see, you can tell Jericho was a man of distinction. Okay, he's like, let it breathe. Don't just drink that down. Let it breathe.
Right.
That shit. So he's special ops now. He's former special ops now. Is that what
I
that
guess.
means? That
I
beret. I didn't know
guess.
you could wear that at work. I
Right.
didn't
And
know
the
it could
thing
be-
about it, it's never addressed in the movie. He just wears it. They don't talk about it. He doesn't talk about it with the captain or the other officers. He's just
Nothing.
like, okay.
And in my notes, I just wrote beret ? Because it needed its own line. Don't write no words after that.
But what
Beret.
this implies is there's a whole prequel to this movie where he has adventures as an Italian special forces, eh?
Hey,
I gotta
what do
get
you
home for Sunday dinner?
What's the matter, you? Huh? I'm over here.
He's
So-
there with like 2 SMGs. What's the matter, you? Huh?
I just
He tells his captain, "Give me an unmarked and a shotgun."
Right.
I didn't know cops operated like that. Dude
Yeah.
kills your buddy. Give me an unmarked and a shotgun, and I'll bring
Yeah.
him in. That's
aren't
it. That's
you
all-
from Law and Order? You know, it was. No,
Hey,
it was.
Gino.
I know.
Hey, yo.
It's never addressed. If you think about, because everybody, I grew up for a short spell outside of Detroit, so Beverly Hills Cop was like our movie, and you think about the consequences of Detective Todd getting pissed at you
Mhm.
versus just get me an unmarked, a bag of coke, a shotgun. Don't ask me why. No paperwork. I'm rolling.
I'm
You know
out
how
of
it
here.
is.
And then he tells him, his wife or his ex-wife for some reason is on the crime scene too. She
Right.
followed him to the crime scene. I guess anybody in my family can come over here. So they got her at the crime scene, and she tells him, Gino, hey, you need to take a break. Like, calm down. And he goes, I'm fucking like this. He was my best friend. Like, what does that mean? He goes, I'm fucking like this. It's my best friend. Holy shit.
Yeah, why is the mother there? Because she was supposed to go pick up Sonny, Toddy.
Who's with Tony? Who's with Tony? That's what I want to know.
I don't know. I hope the kid's not at the crime scene, and then he sees Uncle Bobby Lupo got blasted. Hey,
Dad!
Got blasted.
They needed to pan over and just show William Forsythe eating an ice cream cone. Like, he's also there, just watching it unfold.
Hey, I'll just go, hey.
Yeah.
Hey, Dad, you didn't tell me Uncle Bobby was fucking dead.
Right.
You're fucking dead.
Get in the car, Manja.
Manja.
Then we find out that Richard Forsythe, Richie Maldonado, I believe, he's pissed off the mafia too, because he kills a cop in broad daylight in front of 100 witnesses, and the mafia is like, "What the hell? This is going to bring pressure down on them." So they're talking about they want Richie, and then Seagal wants him. So he has to sit down with one of the leaders of this mafia which he belongs to, and he tells him, "I'm going to go after him. I'm not going to stop." I got an unmarked and a shotgun. I'm going after his ass.
What's the matter, you guy? I'm out of here.
Right.
So yeah, there was a lot of like cheek kissing and
right.
Hey, you guys, you're from the, because of course, they know Gino's family, like his uncle. Hey, you part of the family of Gino, and all that stuff. So he's cool. He leaves them alone, lets them do their thing, and he's like, the kid who grew up and was a good guy instead of joining the mafia over here.
Right. So, and
you could have been in this movie, Jericho. You could have done it, man.
I was the accent consultant. I was a little kid.
That's right, man.
He was the voice coach for us. You
guys could have done better if Jericho would have done better, man.
Good, Steve, babe. You got a little more. Hey, you got a little more in there. All right, take two.
So then, when he leaves the meeting with the mob bosses, this like beat up old station wagon with this bumper sticker, I guess, on the hatchback. Kill them all, let God so I think it also says like Vietnam vet or something. This guy throws a trash bag into the street. Seagal almost runs it over and stops. He gets out, rips open the trash bag, and there's a puppy German Shepherd in there. And he says, he prays. He says, God, let me run into this guy again.
Hey, God, I know you're busy up there and I'm down here, but let me see that fucking guy one more time. Hey.
So yeah, and there's the puppy, and I think the puppy ends up being named Coraggio or something.
Yeah, my name is Coraggio.
It's courage in Italian. I believe it's courage.
Oh, is that what it means?
But I looked it up. Yeah, I looked it up.
I'm not for dumping puppies.
No.
Who does it in a neighborhood, like in a suburb? He just threw the fucking bag into the middle of the street. That was weird.
If he hadn't have thrown that dog, people might have noticed Screwface's guys in the middle of suburbia stealing trucks next to a high school.
Right.
We don't know no Screwface.
They were the different times.
Holy
it was a simpler time.
It's a much simpler time.
Right.
Harken back to those times. Oh, and one thing is I love the cars, the cabs and the cop cars of this era. They use I don't know, it was a Ford, whatever. But when you see those cars, it's going to be a good action movie.
Right. Those big like Lincoln Continental boats. Yeah. So he talks to this little Puerto Rican boy. And so he has his New Jersey accent. And then he can also speak Italian to the mob bosses. And then he's speaking Spanish to this Puerto Rican kid. So he's a polyglot for sure.
So
must be his special forces training or something.
Yeah, it was probably, South America, Nicaragua. What was the guy's name that we got down there? Manuel Noriega.
Oh, Noriega.
So maybe that's where he picked it up when he was down there. Like, hey, what's the matter, you? So then, of course, he helped because he asked him, "How's your mom doing?" Oh, she's staying clean. So of course, back when Gino was probably a beat cop, right after Special Forces, right after Nam, he probably helped his mom get clean. Probably beat up her pimp, something like that. Kicked her boyfriend's ass who was smacking her around, and now this kid is forever indebted into him, and this kid are indebted to him. And this kid plays a very crucial part
Yes, he
Right.
does.
Now, I don't have a clip of it, but yeah, this kid gives him, I'll keep an eye out and this and that. And he's cruising around and he finds Richie and his crew down by a bridge or something. And there's a chase scene. But right before he finds Richie and his crew, this hooker, it's a really bad area under a bridge.
Oh,
A
yeah.
hooker comes up to his window and goes, "Hey, baby, you want to fuck or something?" And I think,
It was an
I
outtake.
don't know,
Yeah.
was that real? Because the way he laughs, that
was
didn't
real.
seem Script.
That was
Okay,
real.
that was a real hooker.
Yeah, that had it was probably like they probably told her, "Hey, just say something when he drives by."
Because
She
he
was-
laughs like so hard, and it's such a
He
genuine
breaks
laugh.
character.
Just
And
like
he drives
last
forward
time.
another 30 feet, and he sees two guys by one of the poles. That's one of the.
You hear what
things
she
holding-
said?
Yeah.
And he tells him, "Did
What
you
do you
guys
say,
know what
man?
she said?" And he's just like laughing his head off.
I think, and just like I mentioned in the last movie, this must have been a happier time for him because there was a
Right.
lot of genuine smiling and laughing in that movie too when he got together with Keith David, his non-buddy. But this, that shit caught him off guard because I think that was a genuine laugh. And then he asks, "You hear what she said to me?" He goes, "What'd he say, man? What'd she say?" And he just drives off and then spots these fucking psychos right here in the
Right.
car.
So there's a pretty good chase scene, lots of shooting and driving and going through alleys and just your
Mhm.
classic 80s, 90s tropes. It's a fun action scene. I
And
am
No Sleep Till Brooklyn by
Yes.
Beastie
Beastie Boys.
Boys before that, before
That's
he,
right.
he found Richie. That was
That's
pretty
right.
hard too.
that's
And
right.
Then what do you say is take this guy for a fucking pork chop. That's what he says when they take Gino, they make him follow him to the deli or whatever, the meat shop, and you could see the people outside, like where they had the crowd push back to film the scene. You can see
Right.
like 100 people on the sidewalk behind it. But that scene right there, I watched that with my son because I wanted to watch it, pretty close to now, so it's fresh in my mind. So I had to watch it with my son. My wife wasn't home, so yeah, we had to break the Steven Seagal cherry for him. This was his first movie. He was like, "Dad,
That's a
oh my
movie."
goodness." He was like, "Dad." I was like, "Oh yeah, he's about to tear these dudes up right here." And your homeboy, and you can hear him screaming through the whole scene. I love that authenticity. You can hear that
Right.
guy screaming through the whole scene with that meat cleaver in his hand, and the guy who has another meat cleaver buried in his thigh as well. Look at that shit.
I was about to say.
What?
Holy shit, look at that.
That's
That's like catastrophic. Your hand is gone.
Oof.
At least half of your hand has to be removed. Look at
That's how you
that shit.
describe it. You come home and how was your day? Catastrophic. It doesn't get worse.
Hey,
Fuck.
it was a little
Oh.
catastrophic.
Hey, this
Yeah,
guy over
yeah.
here.
So yeah, the car chase. They lead him to the probably a mob-linked Italian butcher
Mhm.
shop, and the bad guys in the car. Richard Forsyth them. They get away and leave the butcher shop workers to what the hell, dude? Think of your job description there. You trim meat and all that. You weigh it. You cut, cheeses. You make sandwiches for people, and then you also try to kill police officers. That's a lot of range in employment.
Okay, I see you got experience here at this butcher, but tell me, how are you with killing cops? This guy, this is the guy he picked up because before he sees Richie pulls up and says, "You guys got balls?" He goes, "Hey, Paulie, you got balls?" He goes, "Yeah, I got fucking balls." And he tosses the money. He goes, "Now you got the bread." So he hops in with those guys and he leaves like 2 or 3 new guys he just picked up behind. You guys will hang them up by a fucking hook, and then takes 3 of his homeboys with him. So it's the butcher working. This guy here, he was just in the back cutting up cold cuts, but he has to come out here and get fucked up by Steven Seagal in his ponytail, and it is beautiful. The first guy swings at him with a meat cleaver, misses, and buries it in his own thigh. Holy shit.
That's right. That's why they always tell you to keep your trigger finger off the handle.
Right.
Until you're ready to shoot.
Trigger
That's
discipline.
right.
Trigger discipline, fellas.
Dude.
Cleaver
Yeah.
discipline. We got to make shirts.
Right.
Cleaver discipline, guys. Come on.
We have another little bit of mob meeting, not too interesting, but then the Goon Squad. Okay, Richie, the bad guy, Richard
Mhm.
Forsyth, his little brother runs a bar that's seems like it's in the attic of a building in an industrial area, and the mafia goes there to where the hell's your brother? Because the mafia is trying to get a hold of Richard Forsyth too, because the cops keep shaking them down and bugging them a bunch. And the little brother, I forget his name. Is it Vincenzo or I don't know? It's one of those names.
It's Vinny. Gotta be.
Is it?
Somebody's
Yeah,
Vinny in this movie.
And like,
But I think
do you
Richie
know
killed.
where he is? He's like, I don't know. He's Ubats, you know.
He also, I think Richie killed a couple of the mob guys because one of them tells the boss that he went to meet in the shop. The first time he tells him, oh, he killed so and so. So he's like, what? He's like, I want Richie. Bring Richie here to me now, like that. And then they go take off, and then they go start hitting up his brother to let them know where Richie is. And this dude, he gets fucked up 3 times.
Yeah, he has a rough one.
They smack him around here. Seagal smacks him around, and then his own brother comes at the end and squeezes his nose that was broken earlier in the movie.
Right. You could say he has a catastrophic time. You know what struck me? This doesn't spoil anything, but later in the movie, like at the beginning of the 3rd act or something, I realized this all takes place in like 24 hours or 36 hours. This is a very short, the movie itself is an hour and a half long, but the timeline is much shorter than I thought. I just assumed some of the investigation would take a few weeks or days. And then when he says something, Seagal says something to Jerry Orbach, the captain from Law and Order. He wasn't a captain on Law and Order, but he's a captain in this movie. He says something to him about him, like, oh, I saw him this morning or whatever. I'm like, oh shit, this was all like one day. So I would say all that to say Vincenzo or whatever his name is, he gets his ass kicked like 3 times in one day by different groups, all because his idiot brother's on a rampage.
That was bad, man. And maybe it was all in real time. Maybe this was all in an hour and a half in the same day.
Okay, but here's a problem. So he went to emergency care, sat that waiting room, got that nose set, then came back all in one day. So he was ass kicked again.
Sean, that's where you're wrong. That's where you're wrong, because normal people go sit there and wait. He goes in and goes, hey! And then just, oh shit, they took care of him.
He goes to the special medical care facility, the back of the Olive Garden, and he goes, can I get some breadsticks over here?
Oh, yeah. Can you fix my breadstick?
Please, unlimited super salad over here.
No, here's what I'm convinced happens whenever I see a character like this in a movie. So this young kid comes into casting, and all the older guys there are like, look at this fucking pretty boy. What can we do with him? Put him in the movie, and we're going to kick the shit out of him the entire time. I'm pretty sure that's what happened.
They whooped his ass 3 times.
Beat him down.
Thrice.
Let's see. So let's see. So what? Oh, and then we get a well, that says it all right there. My daughter Minnie does. I have to watch these movies and then take the pictures for me as she watches it, so we get them in order. And so he visits Richie's parents, and you find out that they really did all know each other from the neighborhood when they were all
from the neighborhood.
And the mom is crying and telling him, don't kill him. And that's who you don't see in the foreground, that black form there. That's Seagal, because he went to the house to tell him, where's Richie hiding? Like, I know you guys probably talked to him, and they won't give up their son. It's unclear if they know where he is or not. They probably don't know, because he's all cracked out of his mind and on a rampage. But they wouldn't give him up if they knew where he was anyway. So it is kind of a heartfelt scene. You do feel sorry for the parents. As a parent myself, you feel sorry. But on the other hand, you're like, well, their son is a wild dog, and he's out. Shot a lady in the head who asked him to move his car. Like, he's out of control, this guy. And so it's a tough scene. You could think back to the parents of your friends. You know what I mean? And like it's not family, but it's some of us, the parents of our friends. It's very, very close. You know, we can all relate to that. So what a terrible position for Seagal to be in. But a great thing about his character is he's resolute. He's like, no, I'm going after him. I'm not going to let him off just because you're crying. So,
But Richie's evil cuts through this. It cuts through his parents begging for his life. No, he's too bad. He's too far gone. He's a rabid dog that needs to be put down. And no matter how much you cry and offer me gravy, I'm not going to let him go. Why does his mom look like she just got there from Ellis Island? She looks like she is from the old country. His mom is painfully Italian.
Right. Oh.
Please, I don't kill my son, Gino.
If you find yourself having to say that to a cop, chances are, no matter how well-intentioned you were as a parent, you done fucked up.
He's dead. It'd be funny if he just got right in her face. He's fucking dead.
You hear me?
He's dead.
Yeah, as a parent, you may have fucked up. At the least, you probably missed a few things. Probably.
Yeah, you probably Probably shouldn't have let him leave that bedroom door closed that many hours, huh?
Right.
I remember when I got him his first crack pipe.
Got him one
I
of those.
didn't know this was gonna happen, but he cried if he couldn't have his crack.
I need him a little holder for his cracker pipe so he doesn't burn his lips. What a nice mom. But they didn't send the cops after him. They sent Gino after him. He's got an unmarked and a shotgun. Your son fucked up.
And he's special forces, or at least former special forces.
Boy, the beret says it all.
Right. So now we get some lasciviousness, some creepiness. Richie and the boys head over to a former girlfriend or maybe prostitute that he employed or something. I don't know. They never make it clear that I noticed. Maybe
the little boy does when he.
That's right. That's
toward
right.
the end when he plays his part, he tells Gino that she's a hooker. So
that's right. Yeah. So Richie and his boys come over and he's so perfect. The mustache, the gap between his teeth, the evil snarl laugh, and the way he touches her and he's brushing her hair at one point.
And he's going after her little sister.
Oh, yeah. And her sister's supposed to be not a child, but too young for him. And he's got his eye on her too. He's so fucking gross, this guy.
Disgusting.
Every disgusting. He's just chewing the scenery of being just disgusting, and you hate him. I love it. I think he's a great bad guy.
I can't imagine this kid not walking into preschool with that mustache and his hair slicked back. Everybody knew that kid was bad. They're like, what's wrong with Ricky? He stole my lunch. He looks kind of crazy.
Fucking
crazy. Teacher, we don't got homework this week. Capiche. Hold on.
Me. Hey, Peach.
Hey, I don't know those of you that lifted weights in the 1980s, but shout out to the guy on the right in the Zubas.
Bruh.
You see those pants? Did you guys have Zubas?
I
had
did.
A pair of them. They had an elastic waistband and no zipper, and people would always wear them to like the gym or stuff like that.
They were stylish. They came in 18 million different patterns. Yeah. I mean, this is what, 91?
Right.
So, yeah, this is prime time for those pants. I'd say 89 to like 92.
By the way.
And I was going to say, Shanth, you're right. From ER.
Wait, why you keep calling me Shanth? Did you read my name? I mean, it's right there.
Oh,
hey, Tony.
Come on, guys. Hey. I'm totally Italian.
Hold on, I gotta change my name.
This is the logo right here. These fucking hands. Hey, what's the matter you?
Yeah. What's the matter you? I'm totally Italian.
I'm Don Gabe. I changed my name. I'm the Don. But Juliana Margulies, nothing wrong with that. Looking fine here.
Yeah.
This before ER, obviously. A couple years before ER, yeah. So I'll never forget a story I heard her tell. She was on the Tonight Show with Jay Leno, 1995, 96. And she told this horrific story that I've never forgotten. She was out somewhere and a butterfly flew into her eye and then got up above on the top of the eyeball behind the eyelid and everything. And it took forever. I don't know if she had to go to I don't remember the details, but she couldn't get it out. She had to go have it taken out or whatever. Oh my God. So when I see her, I always remember the story about the butterfly or moth going into her eye, getting stuck behind her eyelid.
This and she has to sacrifice herself for her little sister because he's really going to go after her. She's like, no, hey Richie, what about me? Right. Just forget about her. It's like she totally has to be the sacrificial lamb for this pervert, and his boys are no better. Yeah. His boys are just as bad as him. They're along for the ride, so when they get what they get, they deserve it too.
Right. Well, look at Zuba's there. He's got the unlimited breadsticks. He's eating it.
Hey, off camera, you can't see. They got a 5-gallon bucket full of breadsticks. Hey, fucking grab whenever you want. Just start fucking eating it over here. Hey, look at that face.
Right.
Fuck? Oh, this is a great part. This is a great part.
This is amazing. So he goes to the brother, Vinny, the little brother of Richie. I don't know his real name in this. Mm-hmm. And he goes to this pool hall, that weird bar that he has at the industrial building or something. And he proceeds to beat the ever-loving shit out of these monsters. It is amazing. And my favorite fight he does in there is there's a guy named Sticks.
Danny and Santo.
Right. And he breaks a pool cue in half. Seagal and him are just going like this. just hitting these sticks together. Like, I don't know what the hell it is. It's so funny.
I don't get it, man.
Oh
I
my
did
God.
not. Even as a
Beautiful.
child, I'm like, why are they just hitting? They're not like trying to get at each other. They're just hitting the sticks, and you're just clack, 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 clack for like 30 seconds straight. But yeah, man, fucks everybody up in that bar.
Right.
Everybody. And the guy he keeps shoving in the phone booth. There's a guy he
Oh,
shoves in there
that's
like
funny.
twice.
Mm-hmm.
No, cop, you can't do that. You can't just walk into a bar and start beating people for no reason. But I'm glad he did. I'm glad he did.
Yeah.
That's the best.
So that stock right there has the pool cue in it, the cue ball.
Yeah.
Yes.
I showed my son because he just saw the guy spitting his teeth. I was like, Daddy, how do you do that? So I rewound it. I was like, see, he's tearing the dudes up with the towel. Then he takes a cue ball because remember he was bouncing it on the ground. He's talking to a fat guy. And he puts it in his pocket. And then he takes it out, puts it in that towel, and rolls that shit up and pulls it tight and just starts giving everybody dental work in that place. Bam, bam, bam. It's like putting a pool cue in a sock. Just smashing these fools. The dude spit, hey, you knocked my fucking teeth out. Said, here's a rest. Oh, that's how the fight started. They all went, oh, and then started going at each other.
I got a question, Vinny. How come we keep a martial artist over there in the corner?
Right, and there
What's
he is.
that guy for?
Hey, what do you want from me? He wants to fucking hang out over here.
He's got look at his tracksuit.
I was going to say,
Whatever.
he's wearing the official colors of the 90s, teal and magenta and white. Yeah, that was on so many things. And this is a freeze frame of that stick fight, you guys. You have to see it to believe it. Because like you said, Jericho, I don't know what the hell they're doing. They just wave sticks at each other from 5 feet away. It's very bizarre.
It was just, this is literally a stick fight. They were just hitting sticks together for 30 seconds. All right. And I'm going to explain to you, Tony, mind you, why he had that suit on. Because when your name is Sticks and you're hanging out in Brooklyn, you better be fucking ready. All right. You can't be wearing no jeans and a blazer. You got to be in a tracksuit ready to fuck somebody up. And that's what he did.
All right.
all right. And he beats up the bartender. He's all, hey, and this is what I mean when I say worst Italian accent ever. This right here. He goes, hey, I see some memorabilia, some gloves over here. Who's the boxer? He goes, I am. You the boxer? What can you show me, tough guy? I mean, he said some gloves over here. That's what he said. This is a direct quote. I'm not adding anything extra to this.
Now, I want to say this, though. We're going to give a special prize to anybody in the chat who clips that audio and overlays it over Seagal doing this. Okay? Don't know what that prize is, but it's got to happen.
Right.
Over here.
Translated by Jericho.
And the guy keeps telling him, hey, you ain't nothing without that gun and that badge. He says it like 2 or 3 times.
Right.
And he takes his gun out, or first he shoots. He's all, I don't know if it's just my need to impose my will, but I want you to tell all the phenocs, whatever that is, whatever a phenoc is, to get up on the table. And he goes, I'm not doing it. And he takes his gun out, and he shoots a couple rounds in the ceiling. And he goes, hey, what are you doing? Vinny says, you could have killed somebody upstairs. And then Seagal goes, there ain't nobody upstairs. And he goes, how do you know? You bust in the joint? And he goes, I don't recall. So then the guy says again, you ain't shit without that gun and that badge. And he walks over, he points the gun at him, and he empties it. He's all right, here's my gun. Takes it, he's all, and here's my badge. Come get it. And then that's when everybody comes in to get their asses whooped. But the over here and over, I mean.
It's unbelievable. It really is crazy.
Now,
but you know what? For whatever reason, it works. It goes right with the ponytail and the special forces.
It did.
I feel one thing from a macro view of all these movies that we love is it does have that playfulness you had when you were playing with G.I. Joes when you were like 10, 11 years old. And it was over the top and ridiculous, but that was the point. You know, this is so ridiculous. A cop goes into a mafia bar and beats the fuck out of everyone.
Everybody.
Like, what the hell?
Who
woke
who up? Like, who was the first one to wake up and then wake up everybody else in the bar? Because he fucked everybody up in the bar. I want to see the behind-the-scenes footage of Steven Seagal holding his script and walking around going, over here. Nah, that's not it. over here. And I mean, where's that footage? Because
Right.
he thought he was doing something.
He was
Like this was a Shakespeare Oscar moment. Was him showing the world that he can be versatile Seagal.
But to be clear, I did not know it was Steven Seagal. He disappeared into this role
Right.
so much that I'm like, is that Walken? Like, who am I looking at over here? And it was
Some gloves over here. The boxer. Who's the boxer? You the boxer.
He's like, you a tough guy. Well, yeah. Just show me how tough you are.
He's like, I got 5,000 right now for that gun and that badge. And then he starts fucks everybody up. And then he goes to the guy who offered the $5,000. He goes, you can't touch me. I'm a made guy. And he goes, oh, yeah, I forgot. And he turns around. Boom! Uppercuts his ass over the bar onto the shelf behind the bar with blood coming out of his face.
Right. So then we cut to the big boss, the big mafia boss.
Hey.
And this guy's really upset because Richie's going further and further,
Mhm.
and the cops are shaking down everything the mafiosos are up to. So, and he's swimming while he's talking to his guys and saying, you know, you got to bring him to me. You have to bring me Richie. So we just get a little filler scene there. And then Seagal meets with them again. This time he tells them to fuck off. Like,
Yeah.
it ain't all, oh, we know each other from the neighborhood and familia and blah, blah, blah. He just tells these guys, fuck you. I'm going to kill him. I'm not going to be working with you guys at all.
Yeah.
You know,
Because I was never one of you. I never wanted to be. And then even
Right.
guy, he reaches over, touches hands, like, you don't mean what you're saying right now, Gino. He's like, yeah, I do. You know, fuck you guys. And then after that scene, we get another little nugget that backs up my claim that this is the worst Italian accent ever. Because that guy right there with the red tie sitting next to the mob boss, he follows Gino outside. He's like, hey, Gino, what the fuck were you doing in there? And he goes, come here. And he tells him a story about, what was his name? Uncle Pino.
Yeah.
Right.
He said, remember Uncle Pino? He's like, yeah, how can I forget Uncle Pino? Wait. And he fucking starts telling himself. So one day, I'm like 9 years old. I'm hanging out with Uncle Pino. We're at the candy store, and this guy is filling up his pockets. A little bit of this over here, a little bit of that over there. And he says, Uncle Pino says, hey, come here. Fucking throws him a beat and puts him in the trunk. Hey. So then we go to the movies, right? We after the movie, the whole time I'm thinking, this guy in the fucking trunk, right? And stop me when I'm over exaggerating, please.
No,
So
you haven't gone far enough.
they come outside after the movie, and he goes, he hands me the keys, says, open the trunk. He's like, hey, I'm kind of scared. He's like, open the fucking trunk. He's like, so I open the trunk, and this grown man's looking at me. I look over at Uncle Pino. I look at him and said, hey, get the fuck out of here. And the guy takes off. And then he goes, man, he took off running like a bird. Fucking Steven Seagal says, like a bird.
Yep.
What the fuck?
And then he goes, Ickory dickory dock.
Ew.
Ew, totally Andrew Dice Clay.
Wait a
You
minute.
nailed it, man.
Wait a minute. We might have just stumbled. We cracked the case. When did Andrew Dice Clay blow up?
Like early 90s, late 80s?
Right. And when
That's
was
right.
this movie? Was Steven Seagal doing an Andrew Dice Clay?
Very well.
It's
Might have been
entirely
coached by
I'm not
Andrew
even.
Dice
I'm only half joking.
Yeah.
He might have fucking seen a special on HBO,
Yeah,
and been
I
like-
think so.
and then he thought to
smoking a
himself,
cigarette like this. Ew.
Yeah, I could
Ew.
disappear into that character.
Maybe Andrew Dice was off camera and we just didn't see him. He's like, hey, Steven, come here. Like I told you, put your legs right in. I mean, it was like a bird.
right.
You're gonna need a bigger jacket, kid.
Holy shit, guys.
It's rough.
Oh, man, Steve.
Hold on, I'm
Oh.
doing some real.
And then the best line when he goes into the bar, or when he's leaving the bar after he's kicked everybody's ass, he goes, hey, anybody know why Richie killed Bobby Lupo?
Right.
I'm gonna keep coming in here till somebody remembers seeing Richie. What the fuck?
Oh.
Anybody
So-
know why Richie killed Bobby Lupo?
Oh dear.
Ugh.
I think that's the line of the movie. I think to me that's the most memorable one. Because when I watch this movie, one thing I noticed the movie doesn't have is the killer 90s one-liners. It doesn't seem to have them. You know, the send-off that Schwarzenegger, Seagal, all these guys, they'll say the one thing and then shoot the guy. I don't remember like a killer one-liner in this movie.
He has one at the very end. I don't want to spoil it, but we can mention. I think he does sneak one in. It wasn't as hard hitting as some of his previous ones or some of his predecessors. Probably not. I mean, it's no. I'll take you to the bank, Senator, the blood bank.
Right.
I mean, was it on that level? No, but he did try to sneak one in there.
Right. I have a couple photos. Sorry, out of order here. Well, no, this one's out of order. But he goes. He ends up going to Gina Gershon, the sister of Richie Maldonado, looking fine, by the way.
She has a mouth on her, though, Gabe.
Wow.
She has a mouth on her. A direct quote is, and I quote, "I can still get it wet."
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
Oh, come on.
That's
Come on, Gina.
that was an unfortunate thing to say.
Yeah, I mean,
Still
I
get
just
it
want to
wet.
point out, let me just be clear, because people are confused. There's a lot of people out here, a lot of young people out here watching, I am sure, who are wondering, what does the mother of all these children look like? We just rewind and go back to that sweet little Italian lady straight off of Ellis Island.
Man,
These are her kids.
Whoa.
Her batting average is fucking horrible. That's her mom. By the way, anybody interested in Gina, that's what Gina's going to be.
in
about
40 years.
Oh,
Hey.
I mean, wow. But much respect to her for what she gave us throughout the 80s and other movies. She was wonderful. Gina Gershon was
Hail.
right.
molto bene.
So, because she won't tell him everything he wants to know, or maybe she doesn't really know where Richie is, he ends up throwing her in jail.
Yeah.
And then she has to share a cell with this person. So that looks like 2 miles of bad road.
Well, that's been rode hard and put away wet. My goodness.
Right.
Yeah, she but Gina Gershon, yeah.
I think her name is Patty in this.
But shout out to her for not giving up her brother. If she did know where he was and didn't say anything, I mean, he took her all the way to jail, locked her ass up, and that was it for Patty and her foul mouth.
And there's a scene here. I don't remember why they were there, but Richie and the guys, they're with this guy who's in a wheelchair in a warehouse. Who is
they went there to lay low. He's all, we're gonna stay here for a couple hours. Is that all right with you? And so they were going there to kind of lay low and hang out, regroup and shit. This guy, I'm assuming he got paralyzed at Nam because he asked him about, is he banged any chicks? He's all, we got some girls over here. What do you think of that? He's all, Richie, I haven't had any pussy since 1969. And they all start laughing at him and shit.
It would have been funnier if he said a specific date. Tuesday, February 3rd, 1969.
You think you remember that? The last day you had any pussy. I remember that.
Yeah, I feel like that's something you would remember. You wouldn't even have to write it down.
That's etched into your memory. But but even this is, I guess, the line his boys won't cross, because even they're like, hey, Richie, come on, leave him alone. Richie, why you picking on him? Richie, because he's fucking with him. And then there's a scene where he puts homeboy in a chair and is rolling around in his wheelchair.
Right.
The dude's sitting in a seat, like at a desk, and Richie's like rolling around, fucking around with his wheelchair.
Right.
This guy
and then Richie fucking kills him, which is so crazy.
Yeah,
he
man.
shot a dude in a wheelchair.
Yeah, in case anybody was wondering if Richie was a stand-up guy, if there was a glimmer of hope. And we've got Hunch the Dirty Roofer raises an important thing in his super chat right here, Gabe. We gotta speak to this. It's
Hunch the Dirty Roofer for $5. Thank you very much, Hunch. As an Italian, I'm feeling attacked and claiming cultural appropriation.
Apologies.
Hey,
Hunch, we apologize. Of course,
I got your apology right here, Hunch the Dirty Roofer.
That's right. Who's Gina Gershon, Hunch? No, it's like
that's
dude,
right.
Oh man, I swear it's Columbus Day 1960.
Oh man. That was the day. None the miser. What's up, man? But that police vehicle you just had on there, that's when the cops come in the raid, and so they all scatter, and he's like, you rat me out. He's like, no, Richie, I swear, Richie, I wouldn't do that. And then fucking boom, shoots a dude in the wheelchair. I was like, damn, Richie.
So he teases a guy in a wheelchair, steals his wheelchair, then shoots him. Yeah. This is after he's already shot a cop in front of his wife and shot a lady for telling him to move his car and he does crack all the time, and he's hitting on an old hooker he knows, kid's sister. So he's a bad person.
Gabe, he smokes crack all the time.
You know what? Maybe there was a transcription error. Maybe there was a transcription error, and this lady said to please kill her son.
Please. And if you're not too busy, kill the rest of my kids.
And if you can make it down to my son's bar or the club my daughter owns, hey, fucking kill him too. Hey.
My daughter's a whore.
She said, kill my lineage, please.
Oh my goodness.
Damn.
So then we get a scene where Seagal figures something out.
Mm-hmm.
Something isn't adding up here. And he goes into Bobby's desk at the police precinct, I'm imagining, and he finds pictures.
Oh,
hey.
Lascivious pictures of the rest in peace, the beautiful Julie Strain, wife of Ninja Turtles creator Kevin Eastman. That's Julie Strain and Bobby Lupo. They were having an affair.
What are you doing back there, Bobby?
Right, they were having an
he
affair.
lost the keys.
Right.
Hey.
Oh, and I forgot to mention earlier, a waitress, with a blonde waitress in Gina Gershon's club,
Mm-hmm.
writes the name Roxanne on a napkin and gives it to Seagal. That's it. She doesn't talk to him. She just gives him that.
That's how old this movie is. Back when you used to write stuff on napkins.
And I got to give a shout out to Hunch the Dirty Roofer saying Gina is actually Albanian. So there you go.
Dang. Hey, she's a great actress because I thought she was. Oh.
This coming here after talking about all the horrible stuff that Richie Maldonado does.
Yeah.
Right. Oh.
Oh, shit.
Someone Photoshop that to make it happen.
Oh, that's the question. Who did rat him out? I contend that it was one of Richie's guys because he looked disgusted at Richie for messing with the wheelchair guy. That is true, Dead Punk Garage, because that police truck does show up and it doesn't say how they knew he was there. That is
And the
true.
guy, one of the guys walked out right before the police, or a couple seconds or whatever before the police came.
Maybe it was Zubas and his unlimited breadsticks.
Hey,
That's right.
you guys told me it was unlimited. I just ate the last one. Oh, he's gonna blow up the whole operation. You fucking lied.
Oh. So that's Richie's dad comes down to the police station and Seagal arrests him as a way to try and entice Richie to maybe come, I don't know, confront him or something like that. That's kind of the plan they come up with. It doesn't really work. And he also has Gina there arrested too. I think her name is Patty in the movie though.
I don't think Richie's very big on family.
No, I don't think he's big on
going out
anything.
on a limb.
Yeah.
Right.
I don't think he cares. I think if they got in his way, he would probably kill his family too.
Yeah.
She says that. Doesn't she say, like, I can't rat him out, he'll kill me?
Oh,
I mean, I'm pretty sure she says that.
does
Doesn't she?
say
He's like, I can't, you know.
I think she said those exact words.
He's been smoking crack since he was 5. The hell? He had crack bottles. He was on crack formula.
Here, Richie is smoking the crack.
Right.
Yeah, the crack's like, I can't take
Man.
any more Richie. This is intense.
That's the real villain. It's
Yeah.
the crack. Man, yeah.
Mm.
So then Coraggio and Gino, they head
Coraggio.
over to the estranged wife, not quite yet divorced. And way back in the scene when Bobby Lupo was killed, they were on the crime scene. She still wants to she hates him and she wants to get a divorce.
Yeah.
And she's like, well, hurry up and finish your business with this murder so we can finish ours. Like basically saying, yeah, your fucking friend is dead. Solve that so I can divorce
Yes.
you.
Blah blah blah. Let's get to the
Right. It's
divorce.
pretty heartless that she says that.
It is. Yeah,
But
and then he
she's starting
says
to turn here. And she
he says
invites him
something-
in.
Yeah,
She
she
invites
says something
him.
to him in Italian, then he says something back on that scene at the crime scene. He says
Right.
something, she goes, yeah, and says something back to him in Italian. But yeah, this is where they kind of reignite the fire, kind of
Right.
get back together.
And he tells her another story about how I think it was Bobby Lupo's. No, was it Richie's dad or Bobby? One of the two guys was the one that would give him money and stuff when he would go, out
Richie's
to buy-
father.
Richie's
buy
dad,
some
yeah.
candy.
Yeah.
And he talked about his father being this immigrant who went around the neighborhood sharpening knives, and eventually that fell out of fashion. And he said his father felt so useless. You know what I mean? That he was this man that had this profession for years and it went away culturally, and he would go out and he wouldn't make any money. And I guess he's kind of relating it to himself, that he wants to be useful, that he wants to do good things for his neighborhood, his people, his culture, his society. So he's telling her that as a man, to feel useless is just like a death sentence. It's one of the worst feelings you can have.
Gotta have purpose.
Right.
Yeah, but
and I love
he
that.
he breaks balls for a living, so he'll always You
He's
always
got
have
a job.
something to do.
But it's true though. Like,
good.
how cool is that his father was a knife sharpener, though, just as a character trait.
Right.
And it's funny, we're watching shows come out now like Stranger Things. There's a lot of 80s throwbacks, and I'm finding myself wondering, I would love to see a period action movie that takes place in the 80s and 90s doing this kind of stuff. That takes place with all the cars and with all of the type of stuff. I mean, of all the things that we're seeing throwbacks to, I think somebody could do an outstanding. Gabe just got tired of us. He was like, I'm out of here.
He's all,
it's like, peace. I hope he didn't learn how to battle. But you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's like, I'm tired of Tony.
I'm back. I'm back.
I've had enough of Tony Manja.
But who's going to make that movie? Who has the balls to make that movie? Because a movie like that is the antithesis of what they're doing now. Who's going to make that high body count, one-liner, good guy movie? Because these guys, breaking the law and police brutality aside, he's a good guy. He cares about the puppy. He wants to play catch with his son, and he's a good dude from the neighborhood who came back to do more good. He had a great relationship with his father, which is probably what made him such a good person now.
Right.
But who is going to make that strong, toxically masculine man movie? Because that's what these were. Yesterday I was watching Commando with my son, and when the scene where Arnold comes down and he's holding that 3/4 of a tree on his shoulder, and they zoom in on his muscles and all that, and he's splitting the wood. My son was like, "Who's that?" Like, these are the guys, the muscles, the guns, the one-liners. Who is going to do that? And I'd love to see it.
Someone's going to do it who's an entrepreneur, right? Because there's got to be people who are looking right now at what happened with Top Gun Maverick.
Right.
Bean counters, sensible business people going, we thought people were tired of movies. They were tired of the movies being made. And if we give the people what they're after, this isn't a massive special effects blockbuster. It couldn't have cost them what an Avengers does. Someone's going to look at this stuff. And so, by the way, probably somebody who grew up on these films and gets them, because it can't just be a fan thing. You've got to really get what the core, qualities of these characters are. But I'm guaranteeing you, someone's going to be able to make some money looking into the action genre again and doing it with the kind of rawness that we had back then. Because I want to see it, man. I want to see it.
I mean, we're having a lot of fun, but I think this movie does have a lot of heart about a thing that's so important to me, and all three of us here for sure, because we're all pretty patriotic guys. I mean, you call your comic book imprint Liberty. Sean, you named it out, after. And mine, I'm calling my personal one Revolutionary Comics, and that's a nod to the Revolutionary War and all that. And, in Jericho, it goes without saying, total patriot, served this country in the Navy. And I love that he's from the neighborhood and all the Italian guys. And I just love that aspect of it. And that he's talking to Richie's parents, and he talks about his father being a good father. And I do love that, the generational thing that we see, that the good that we can have today or the bad that we can have today, it isn't built right now in the moment. It's built over the generations, day to day, week, month, year, decade. And I think that's something the SJWs, postmodern and leftists, they don't understand, that if we stop our traditions and just reject them, and we just say, just who's to say what's right and wrong? Live however the hell you want. The future will be broken. The future won't work, because today is not built today. It's built off of decades and centuries and millennia, what we have today. So I think in an abstract way, this movie does touch on that. The generational thing is so important. So
and the respect.
Jordan Peterson, go ahead.
The respect he had for his parents, even though this dude was a bloodthirsty maniac who gunned down his best friend and other citizens, he still had a reverence for his parents. He still respected him. He was like, I come to you, even though I'm telling you, I'm going to kill your son when I find him. But there was still a level of respect that he had for his parents and his mother. So that was pretty cool.
Jordan
Christina, welcome, Christina, super editor. It's called Out for Justice. Go ahead, Sean. What were you going to say?
Yeah, I was going to say, Jordan Peterson was talking today about the crisis that we're seeing right now with identity. They had a video he released through Daily Wire, and the thing he was talking about was this antisocial, behavior that is really about never evolving past the stage you're in when you're 2, where you don't know how to play with other people, where you think everybody should bend to your reality, that you think whatever you come up with about yourself in your head, the world should have to mold to it. So basically what we're doing here, we get together, you see people struggling to do this on YouTube. We get together here, we have conversations, we interact. This is something that is inescapable for somebody who thinks like a 2-year-old and has to impose the game on everyone. I'm playing this game and you all have to play the same game I'm playing. Well, that's essentially what Richie is. Imagine a generation of people with the Richie mentality. I'm going to do what I want, however I want to. There can't be any consequences. The law doesn't mean anything to. He's the ultimate, embodiment of this overly, probably overly parented, and appeased kid who grows up to be a monster because he wants to do whatever he wants to do. And when I was watching it, because I just watched Jordan Peterson talk about that, I thought this is the distillation of that. He has no respect for even the organized crime. None of it matters. The social order, everything that came before, it's irrelevant because he is going where he wants to go. And he's showing you, I will do whatever I want to do. I don't care who it hurts.
Right.
And who's going to stop him?
Even his sister says he would kill her baby if she ratted him out. So he has no regard for the mafia, and that's supposed to be Cosa Nostra to the death. Yeah. And then his blood family, his mom and dad and sister and brother, he could give two shits. You're so right, Sean. He is just a terrible, and how do they say in French? Enfant terrible. My accent isn't good on that, but he's just a spoiled baby monster. He's so bad.
And there's no consequences for him, like you said, but look at the consequences if you cross him. He'll pull you out of the car and blow your brains out for saying move your car. So yeah, that's a very, very childish way of an extreme child, but yeah, very much so.
Right. And you know what is rage? If you look into the scientific analysis and psychology of because rage and anger are different things. Anger's, anger, we all know that. But what rage is, it's the emotion of wanting to destroy or kill. Rage means that thing, I want it gone. Whether it's a person, an idea, an object, an organization. Rage is smashing things into crumbs. And that's what Richie has. He has rage, and rage is uncontrolled. It's insanity and it's evil. And some of his goons come right when Seagal and the estranged wife are
right after.
Yeah, right. Yeah, they're making up here. They're having a little heart to heart, and all of a sudden they hear some noises around the house. And we get a great shootout where one thing about Seagal movies, he doesn't get beat up or taken out very much in his own movies. He just destroys his enemies, which
he fucks them up.
Which at first confused me, but then I'm like, no, I like it. It's kind of badass. It's like
I want to get
football team score 70 points or something.
I don't want to get my ass kicked in my own action movie. No, I'm fucking everybody up. And that's exactly what he did. That right there, that dude, he runs out of bullets. And he said right there, the guy where he's pointing the gun, shooting, he runs out of bullets. And Richie runs up on him around the corner, says, drop it. And he goes, I'm out of bullets. What are you going to do? Kill an unarmed man? He goes, I'll tell you what I'm going to do. And he puts his gun back and he takes that motherfucker and throws him out the window. And he goes, and he lands, he goes, like that, and then blood just comes out of his mouth. Yeah. I mean, the killings are cold in this movie.
Right, and it's like the fourth story or something like that. It's a good fall.
He went for a ride.
It's a good fall.
Bam! I mean, and then one guy in the house, he pushes him through one of his, little French doors or whatever. He lands on the bed, and he pulls the guy up with one hand and puts his gun into his neck. Fucking boom! Shoots that dude in the neck. I mean, the ultra violence that Steven Seagal displayed in these movies is fucking exquisite, and I love it.
I was reading an article about this particular movie, and it was rated NC-17 until they took 54 seconds out of it.
Damn, why?
I don't know. It was rated
54 seconds.
It was that violent. This is a Wikipedia article, could be false. I don't know. But that's what I read online. It does, like you said, when he pulls the guy up and sticks the gun in his throat. It's like, oh my gosh.
He fucking blasted him and then went and killed the rest of the guys. The one guy, he puts the gun around the corner. He ain't even looking. And the guy comes through the room. Boom, boom, boom. Which popped his ass. And shout out to you, Steven Seagal. He reloads. I like that.
That's right.
Right.
Like
now, Sean, I got to ask you. Do you feel sorry for the little brother yet?
Not yet. You know what would be great is if after all he does for his older brother, he's rejected. I think that's the only thing left for him, right? Like this guy, they're like going, so we think of this final scene, we put that pretty boy actor in a dress and throw him through a helicopter. Like this is the meme. But this is the thing I was laughing about the other day. I looked over at my wife and I go, Steven Seagal just ties people's anatomy in knots and leaves them on the floor screaming.
Yeah.
He just let me just
twice.
Yeah.
Twice in this movie, there's a scene where somebody is screaming in the background from their
Yep.
previous injuries. And I take it back. He doesn't get fucked up 3 times. He gets fucked up 4 times.
Yes.
Because the mafia comes to see him twice. I forgot about this.
Yep.
Where they grab him by his broken nose. Yeah, so he gets fucked up 4 times.
Yeah, the little old, he's not old, but the older guy on the right there with the little mustache.
Yeah, with the mustache.
He's the muscle for this crew.
I love that. He should have come in on like a motorized cart.
I just stood up.
Yeah.
This is the one time I stand up all day. And he fucking grabbed him by his nose. He's all, you're fucking dead. You're dead. Tell your brother he's dead. Oh, poor Vinny.
So Seagal goes back to Gina Gershon's club, and he's looking for the waitress that gave him the napkin that said Roxanne. But when he's trying to describe the waitress to somebody, I forget who's asking him how to find this woman. He says, what's her deal? You know, the one with the nipples you could dial a telephone.
With over here. Hey, fucking calling Tokyo, eh? What the fuck was
I heard that line of dialogue, and I'm like, why? Who?
He said the one, not her. He could have just said her. That would have worked too. But he said, hey, the one over there with the fucking nipples, eh? You could fucking dial a phone with over here. Like,
I want to say, if you do not have that for somebody in your phone, Jericho, as their ringtone, I'm going to be disappointed.
Why did he do that? He could have just said her. Nah, it's not good enough. It's 1991.
Right?
I'm on the top of the world right now. Sure
This
did.
is the time, right, when guys sat around coming up with the wittiest lines they could for us.
Right. So the next image is PG-13, the nudity covered up, but we finally get to the bottom of it. This woman here, the waitress, she tells Seagal what the deal is with these photos. So it's edited. I'll get away from it quickly. That's Bobby Lupo and the girlfriend Roxanne, and the waitress lady and this girl, that's Richie Maldondo's girl. And the waitress lady found out that Bobby Lupo was quite the cad. He's married. He had the blonde waitress and Richie's girlfriend. He was, messing with all 3 ladies. And when the waitress lady found out, was it her that? Oh, no. Okay, we'll get to that later. But anyway, she knows who Roxanne is and all that, and tells Seagal where he can find her. So that's what happens.
That picture has to be like the most awkward JCPenney photo. They're both smiling. They're posing. Who took the picture?
That's what I was about to say. No one asked that question.
Who
right?
took the picture?
The Polaroid, right? Let's go through this. The purpose of the Polaroid, as I was to understand it, for all of you folks who remember Polaroids, was to take a picture that you could take that would be private. In these movies, it shows up all the time. Now, it seems to me he had a Polaroid photographer, or, which I like to really hope for, he put the Polaroid up and said, honey, get in that pose we like.
And he ran over there.
He ran over
around.
No, that was his high school yearbook photo. It was...
He was like, hey, I want you to take like 6 of these pictures, right? I want you to give one to Richie. I want you to give one to Bobby. Give them to everybody over here.
Oh, crap. I realized. Did I tell you to send one to my wife?
Dude, everybody had a copy of these damn pictures.
Yeah.
Oh,
he took a lot.
Richie.
All right. So then Richie finally comes to the bar. I think Richie owns it and the little brother runs it, whatever. And he yells at him, like you're getting shaken down by these people and you're a total clown. And he hurts his brother real bad. He's real mean.
Smacks him around. Yeah.
It's really, he hurts him, but he just humiliates him too.
Yeah.
And you could see, I'm reading into this here. They don't say it, but you can see there's a history there where this bulldog of a brother and the other one's just cowed. He accepts his fate to just be stomped on. And then I think the mafioso guys that are looking for Richie come back and they ambush him and they shoot them all. So they kill a couple of the mafia guys, Richie's crew and some of Vinny's crew. I guess it's the same crew. So
and that's the guy who got his teeth knocked out, probably on the same pool table he's shooting from.
Right. So, okay, then where do we go from here? Okay, so then if this is PG-13, but it is edited. There's a star over the nudity. We find out what happened to Roxanne.
She's the one in the picture.
She's this is the lady from the Polaroid. Richie killed her like the day before. Oh, and this is the part where I figured out that it was 24 hours.
Yeah.
Because he tells Jerry Orbach, who I loved on Law & Order, who's the captain in this movie. He tells Jerry Orbach that according to his whatever, It's about 24 hours of rigor mortis. Oh, wait, it's not regular Seagal voice. It's about 24 hours of body.
The breadsticks couldn't have been out very long, but long enough.
Hey, she's stiff over here.
Right.
She was cooking Olive Garden on the stove.
Hey, I told her make some rigatoni. She made rigor mortis. Hey.
Clip that.
Oh,
I need
okay.
that.
Gracious.
New intro coming. It's got
Right.
in there.
Poor thing. Yeah, and then when he meets up with Bobby's wife, he says, Richie killed her first. And he tosses one of the Polaroids. Richie killed her first. Oh,
Right,
man.
absolutely. So, yeah, he goes over. You see Seagal holding the photo, and then that's Bobby's wife in the background. And when he goes over to her house, he wants to get to the bottom of this. So he goes in her purse, and she tries to stop him, and he pulls out another of these nude photos. And she says she found the photo, and she sent it to Richie because she was so upset he was having an affair. But she didn't know Richie would kill her husband.
Does she not know Richie? Is that her first time meeting Richie? Richie kills people.
Yeah,
That's what
I
he
don't
does.
know. I don't know. And she confiscated the photo from the crime scene, the one that Richie threw on the body.
Yeah,
So, and I believe that's it. So it came back to her like a terrible boomerang.
Again, how many copies of this Polaroid are floating around?
No, here's the thing. He was making a flip book.
Everybody
Okay, so-
has one. Everybody who needs one has one.
Yeah.
None the Miser did Polaroid finance this movie.
Yeah, exactly. You should have seen the ads they tie in with this. It was amazing.
Yeah, we gotta
Right.
check the end credits.
Yeah,
Right.
if you want security for when they find the dead hua Polaroid.
Well, if you look really closely at Seagal's Special Forces beret, it actually says Polaroid on it right there. It doesn't
That's
say
right.
US.
I know it says
You
when
gotta-
you hear your family.
Hey.
Oh,
Oh my
God.
goodness
Oh, man.
gracious. No one's still giving us a good explanation for that beret.
Right. Yeah. You know what? It's better this way. It's like Wolverine in the X-Men. He always had that mysterious origin. Was he 200 years old? Was he in Vietnam and the Civil War? Was he made in a lab by evil scientists?
Yeah.
And they made a book in 2000 that explained his origin. And to this day, I've never read it because it's always better to not know the mystery because your imagination fills it in the emotion perfectly.
But
So
you
I don't
can't-
like when mysterious stuff is explained like that. I think it's more fun to just wonder.
But you can't show us a beret and then not say anything.
Well, if this was Disney or Netflix, they'd have like 2 8-episode seasons explaining the beret itself.
But give me the redacted history scene. Give me the redacted file scene. Something. You can't just, and then he takes it off and like throws it in the passenger seat of the car and we never see it again.
All I can say is, if that's the thing, I'm sorry, of all the things I can't get past this movie, it's the brothers' martial arts live-in friend who's in the corner. And
Hey,
he
it's
sweats him.
Sticks. You
His
call him
name's Sticks. Why? He loves breadsticks. What do you want me to do? It's like, what is this?
What do you want me to do about it?
Every movie, because you had to have a guy in every 80s movie, and I hope they do it again, where it's like you saw it in Tim Burton's Batman. You saw it everywhere. The Joker's team.
Yeah.
You've got a martial artist just pop out of a trash
Road-
can in an alleyway. It's just
Roadhouse, the henchman who fought him at the end. You got
Yep.
the guy in what was it, Tango and Cash, who was
Yep.
kicking glass shelves and shit everywhere. Yeah, you had to have and then you went from that trope in the 80s movies to the 90s action movies. The bad guy was always some quirky, smart guy who, went rogue somewhere, like Under Siege.
You want to know something weird? You mentioned Roadhouse and this having the martial artist guy. The same guy wrote both of these movies.
See?
Oh,
he knew
Roadhouse-
something. He knew the
Roadhouse is
formula.
my movie, guys. Roadhouse is my
Roadhouse
movie.
has the all-time weirdest line in it. Swayze's fighting that one guy, and he gets him in like a lock or a hold or something, and he tells him, "I'll clean it up a little for the kids." He says, "I used to F guys like you in prison." And I was like,
That was a Mike Tyson, face
That
off
was a-
stuff right there.
that was a really weird thing to say, bro.
No, man. Go ahead, Jerko.
I hope that when he was on set, he said, "Oh, hold on. You want me to say, you want me to say that? Yeah, say it, man. It's a great line." I
don't
hope there
want you to
was.
say it. I want you to scream it.
I hope
Can
there
you
was
put a little bit
moment
more mustard on that? All right, let's go again.
I'd be like, that's all the mustard I got, director. I hope that for the sake of Patrick Swayze, there was a moment of pause before he said that line.
Yeah, I hope so too. It was intense, man.
Man.
But no, I mean, Roadhouse is another one we got to do. I drew characters in my first comic I did, Roadhouse style. It was like the sexiest woman in the world is this girl in Roadhouse. I was obsessed with her.
Oh, she was gorgeous.
Oof.
But what threw me is when Samuel Elliott, Sam Elliott didn't have any underwear on. That left a scar. I did not want to see
those
the
movies,
top of his pubes.
Yeah, those movies raised you. They scared you. They chastened you.
But that whole underwear thing with Sam Elliott, that's the origin of his slogan, beef. It's what's for beef.
Oh God, yeah. Isn't it though?
Man.
So the little Puerto Rican kid, that's the little song boy for Seagal, he sees Richie head over back to Rika's apartment, and Richie's going there for his final blowout. He knows the mob or the cops or someone's going to kill him. He's going to go out in a blaze of glory. He's going to get all kinds of drugs, all kinds of hookers, all kinds of Zubas and breadsticks. It's going to be a real fucking shindig over here.
By the way, there's something about you saying he's going there for his final blowout and just having it on the shot of Juliana Margulies. It makes me feel a little sad.
Look at her eyes, how vacant her eyes are in this.
That's how you handle it, man. She's
trying to be 1,000 miles away.
He's like, hey, I want a horse, I want crack and breadsticks. Oh,
yeah.
Well, I think it's in this second time that he goes to Rika's house. There's that self-sacrifice thing you were saying, Jericho, where he's like kind of pawing at the younger sister, and then she goes, "No, Richie, I'll take care of you. I'll take care of you," and she jumps in the way, like sexually, so he'll leave the littler sister alone, and it's so gross. And the grossness and the vileness of this bad guy just keeps growing and growing every scene with this guy. That's why his defeat at the end is so rewarding.
Yeah, I mean, literally, he gets grosser and grosser till the very end.
Right.
To the last scene in the movie, that dude is a pig. It's disgusting, man. And had she not done that, had she not sacrificed herself, he was for sure going to do something with her underage sister. It wasn't like, I'm just joking. No, he was going to do that.
Yeah.
Right.
I mean, he makes you just a pimp, man. By the end of this, you're like, that pimp was a stand-up guy compared to Richie, man. Jeez.
All he did was punch a pregnant hooker. He's pretty cool.
Oh God.
Right. So the little Puerto Rican boy, he calls the police, and the police patch him through to Seagal, who's driving around town, looking for Richie and all that. Tells him where to go. He tells Seagal where to go. Seagal tells the kid to get out of that neighborhood, and Seagal sneaks into this house where Rika lives. And the bad guys are going to have their party. So you get these cool shots of him like kind of peering at them. There's some weird unfinished construction in her apartment. There's like some cinder block walls and 2x4s. You can just kind of see through some of the walls. It's not explained why the house is so ratty, but I'm assuming they're very poor or something like that. And he's peering on all these guys. And he gets in a big shootout, starts taking the guys out. And I don't have a picture of him, but dude, I'll never forget. He shoots this one guy in the shin and basically shoots the bottom of his effing leg off.
That leg. And it was attached for
a second. Wait, I have it.
You could see it's attached for a second and it just falls off. And then this dude is screaming for the rest of the movie from that injury. I love that scene. That was authentic right there. You take a 12 gauge from 6 feet away, that's exactly what's going to happen.
Yeah. That was there's different scenes that the teenage boys will rewind and watch over again. All right. Now it might have been unhealthy that my friends and I watched that leg come off over and over again.
That was the way he screams, he's like, oh man, that actor nailed it, man. I rewound it 2-3 times today when I was watching that shit.
All right, it's my screensaver, Jericho. You caught me.
You got me. Back off.
Man. I eat my breadsticks watching a leg get blown off here.
Over here.
So Richie's making his disgusting move on Rika here, and then he hears the commotion, so he's going to go out and
like Jabba the Hutt and Princess Leia in the shot. Something gross.
He's like, man, I gotta go
weird, so this is the guy Seagal knocked out with the cue ball, knocked his teeth out, and he's in this like crack house or whatever, and Seagal defeats him by just like kicking him in the chest. It's really weird. He kicks him into the wall, and then it seems like he dies, but you can't die of being kicked into a wall.
Look, did you not see his ponytail, Gabe? That adds like 1,500 psi to your front kick.
Guess.
When you have a fucking ponytail like that, because the guy's kind of like on this raised section. When Seagal comes in, he's like 2 or 3 feet higher than him,
Right.
and he grabs through the railing. He grabs Homeboy's hand because he has a gun. He pulls him through the railing, breaks it. His head and his face bounces off of the adjacent wall. He falls down and he goes, "Fuck you, copper!" And then Seagal looks at him like he gave him a look like, "I'm tired of fucking with you. I knocked your teeth out. I'm tired of messing with you." And he front kicks that full in his sternum, and you hear this like, "Argh!" And he hits the wall and then falls to the floor. And that wound on his head is also from the cue ball earlier, where he must obviously smack the skin off of his fucking head.
Right.
But
Charlie
you would
Murphy
think,
front kick.
yeah, in reality, you probably couldn't kill somebody with a front kick, but when you have a ponytail down to your shoulder blades and your name is Steven Seagal, yes, you can.
That's right. The powerful Samson strength in the ponytail.
He kicked the fuck out of that dude.
It's
Hey,
a
fuck you,
weird-
copper.
It's a weird defeat. He kicks him right in the chest, and like, is that dude dead?
Hey, by all accounts, he looks dead to me. Blood out of the mouth.
People wondering why he don't write.
He's gone, man. He's gone.
Oh, so then Richie and Seagal, they're having a little bit of a shootout, and they're gonna have this big fight. And it's weird that Richie comes out threatening to kill himself. That's like, what? I don't know. And they get into a savage fight. Furniture in the kitchen, things getting knocked down, frying pan being swung, all kinds of bullshit going on.
He doesn't touch Seagal, nada once.
Mm-mm.
Seagal fucks Richie up. This is exactly what would happen if a normal citizen fought Steven Seagal in 1991. This is complete domination. What he hit him with a table leg, he hit him over the head with a frying pan. He threw his ass into the wall. There's one, I think, right after this, he throws him through the window, then drags his ass back in by his ankle. Like, "I'm not done. I've been looking for you all day long. I'm going to kill you now." Drags his ass back in and then gives him the quickest 3 punches to his forehead I've ever seen. It was like, quack, 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 and he's just like dazed and falls down. Then he did it before. And then Richie's grabbing knives. He's grabbing all these various things throughout the kitchen, just getting fucked up.
And then the showstopper.
And this is where he says the one-liner.
What does he say here? Because it wasn't.
He's like, "That's for Bobby."
Right. It wasn't as great as
it wasn't his strongest, but he says, "That's for Bobby." Corkscrew to the forehead, William Forsythe.
That's right.
Right.
How else? How else?
Yeah, could have been anything.
Could have been
Had to be a corkscrew.
I think it's a fitting end for Richie Maldonado, though.
Lord knows.
And I like how they dragged it out. I like how it wasn't like a shot to the forehead or something.
Oh, yeah.
No, he whooped Richie's ass from one room to the next. He whooped his ass for that lady he pulled out of the car, for the dude in the wheelchair, for the girl, for Bobby, and everybody. He fucking whooped his ass. The only thing he did is Steven Seagal is when he first comes in, one of the guys had a gun under the table. He gets a shot off, hits Seagal in the side. Of course, flesh wound through and through, like it always is. He's still able to fight, and Richie like digs his thumb into it for like a second. That's the only thing he did to Seagal. Seagal whoops the shit out of Richie. It was beautiful.
Yeah.
He gives him the beating he needed to get when he was younger, basically. This guy, seriously, I'm like, is Seagal making Thanksgiving dinner in that kitchen? I mean, he just put that guy through everything. There was like an appetizer beating. There was like, it just went through it. But I mean, the truth is, Richie didn't even have the power to kill himself. Obviously, he was out of ammunition. But in the end of the story, and he's like, I'm going to make you wish you had. But he shows him what a real man is in that kitchen, that this is a grown-up thug, a grown-up, belligerent child. And he just humiliates him. And it's great.
Fucking pounds. And he tells Richie when he's putting the gun to his head and he's pulling the trigger and it's empty. He says, what are you going to do? I'm out of bullets. He's all, too bad. He's all, those bullets could have saved you a lot of pain. And he
that's the line.
Whoops. Richie swings at him with the frying pan, misses. Seagal grabs a frying pan and smacks him over the top of his head. I'm talking cast iron. This wasn't no non-stick Calphalon bullshit. This was cast iron to the top of his head. He fucked him up.
Yeah, that's.
I love this. None the Miser with the great one here. The one line is gonna go, screw you, Richie, and then give him the old heave ho with the yeah, that would have worked.
And if you think about the design of a corkscrew, it's not made for stabbing. So how those did he just like with that
Sheer
much power?
force. Sheer force.
And I'm just
That
saying
is just-
to the director, couldn't you have given us 1 or 2 turns? I mean,
Oh,
ever since I was
yeah.
a kid, I'm like going, you got him. It's in his head. Could he have been a little bit alive and just a quick,
Yeah.
Oh
just
man.
give me
Can you
something.
imagine? He gives it a crank or two, Richard Forsythe.
I'm telling you, that's in the 59 minutes. That's in the
Holy
59
shit.
minutes. I
Yeah,
bet you money.
maybe that was 53
Oh,
or
maybe
the
that's what
54.
the 54 seconds is.
54
Right.
seconds. Yeah, sorry, 54 seconds. Yeah, that they cut.
Holy shit, man.
59 minutes.
But that would be, dude. There's a great 59 minutes out there too.
Cut an hour of just fucking carnage. They're like, we can't release it. Cut it.
I
Yeah,
want
I
to make
think-
that
Oh my
movie, guys.
I mean,
So it's
yeah.
a very, very satisfying ending to Richie, but
Yeah.
we have a little denouement, as they say in
Mhm.
French here.
Hey,
Uh,
thank you, God. Thanks for listening, God. Because he asked,
He's
he
off
asked God.
with his wife now. They seem to have reconciled a bit. Maybe he gave some of that Italian beef.
Hey, come here. Hey, Tony, go to bed early. Yeah.
It's my birthday.
You see all the guys I just fucking killed? Get out of here. Yeah, he gave her the business, man. He gave her the
He's
business.
got the
'Cause
beret
mass murder fixes relationships.
Right.
does.
If you guys are having problems, your relationship is on the rocks. Just wait for a mass murder to take place, and that'll bring you guys back together.
Yeah. So he's what's he at the Jersey Shore with Coraggio and his wife?
Hey, it's Coraggio. That's what he said. I'm gonna name him Coraggio.
That's
Oh,
right. And who does he see, Sean? Who does he see?
He sees the lovely man who threw the dog in a bag out
In a
of his
bag.
car, hit 2 Rastafarians, and then it drops to the ground.
You want some blow?
Yeah, so when we go to high school, try to be low key and just ask calmly in the whitest voice you can do. You want some blow?
You
Yeah,
want
no,
some blow?
You want
that
some
didn't
blow.
sound right. That did
and
not
so he
sound
goes after this Oldsmobile.
Shout out
and,
to Oldsmobile. Damn,
yeah,
where they been?
he kicks the guy in his tenders in a way that it felt method. The guy was-
Well, he does it from behind. It's like a
Yeah.
soccer trick almost.
Well, he swings at him, and his momentum spins him around, and then Seagal grabs him by his shoulders and just
Yeah.
puts his foot at the highest point of his crotch, and just.
Yeah.
If you
kicks
look
him right in the
closely,
balls.
you could see. If you look closely, you can see Seagal and his beret right behind his face.
Just that's all you need to see. That's
You can
all the
also
beret
see-
you need to see.
Yeah, if you look in the guy's mouth, you can see the tip of his boot.
But it wasn't over yet. And side note, I like how they even gave this guy a shitty car. Like, he's a
right,
shitty
right.
person. He did a shitty thing, and you got a shitty car.
That's right.
Right.
But it's not over yet.
Oh
not
no.
over yet.
And then Coraggio gets his little neck.
Hey, Coraggio, go give him a piece of your mind, huh? Coraggio.
He gives him that. He gives him a little bit of pee on the face. I don't know how else to say it.
Oh,
And that, friends,
Hey,
that
the
is
dog
out for
recognizes him.
justice.
that's right.
Oh my gosh, what a movie!
Even the
Glorious.
dog
Movie.
remembers him and got him in the end. That was beautiful.
Yes, I love that. Let's see. Hold on. Steven Seagal offered producers $1 million to take the dog who played Coraggio home, but was turned down over concerns for the dog's safety. Is that true?
Damn, what's it gonna do to the fucking dog?
He was going to teach it a little kung fu, you know?
Hey, come here, you little bastard. Come here.
We're going to Olive Garden. Get in the van.
Hey, hope you like breadsticks, Coraggio.
Steven
Jeez.
Seagal on set. What's going to happen if I eat all these breadsticks over time? Nothing. I'm invincible. Oh, shit.
Hey,
It was
Keep
the
'em coming.
carbs.
keep them coming, lady. You said all I can eat. Hey.
Yeah, this is an interesting counterpoint, I have to say, to to the movie that we're going to next, there's a great supporting cast in this. I have to say, honestly, I think that Gina Gershon did a great job in this movie. She was a standout, even over some of the other actors. I thought she did great, in her role.
Right.
But I would say that you're seeing really great supporting cast in this, but it's much more of a small town, It's much more of a targeted crime situation. It's not a save the world. It's not a, where you go and under siege. And he's trying to figure out, it's personal. It's his, partner. It's a bunch of guys he grew up with. And so it's almost got this kind of interesting whodunit quality to it, or why, what was the motive quality to it? It's
Right.
unique in Seagal's films.
Right. Yeah,
It is, man.
I think it's his best. I do think it's his best.
Yes, I would definitely say this is the best Steven Seagal movie, because even in his first few, he wasn't Steven Seagal yet. He didn't. I mean, look at Above the Law. That was his first one. Nobody knew who he was yet. He didn't even have a ponytail. But this one, he had a few good movies under his belt. Everybody definitely knew who he was. And this was Steve, babe, here you go. Here's the production budget. Just do you. And then they was like, hey, I got an idea. I was working on this accent. And then here we go with this shit. And but I definitely think not that Under Siege was bad, but it wasn't, that 1991 can't tell him shit, married to Kelly LeBrock, Steven Seagal.
Hold on. Andrew Wilson with some more inside information. During the filming of the showdown between Gino and Richie, Steven Seagal broke William Forsythe's front tooth when he shoved his face into a brick wall. I believe that.
Yeah.
I believe that. I just believe that.
Yeah. Yeah,
I've heard things. I watch a lot of YouTube about action movies in the 80s and 90s. Viking Samurai. I was actually talking to him earlier today. He has about 50,000 subs. He has a great channel where he interviews all kinds of martial artists and actors from these great movies in the 80s and 90s. And he's had people on there that have talked about Steven Seagal being a little rough with stuntmen and other actors and kind of pissing some people off. So, I do believe this.
And in Under Siege, Tommy Lee Jones plays the villain, and there's no shortage of acting power there. Same with William Forsythe. But even still, he didn't whoop Tommy Lee Jones's character. Was it Stranix? He didn't whoop Stranix's ass the way he did Richie.
Yeah.
He of course, he always wins in the end. But I don't think there's anybody in his movies who took an ass whooping like Richie did.
Yeah, I mean, you're coming off of March for Death, right? And that was a hell of an ass whooping. And this one raises the bar on that. It just keeps moving it forward.
Right.
Yeah, it's a great flick, man.
I didn't break his tooth. The wall did.
Hey, I got your wall right here.
This fucking wall right here.
Hey, who put this fucking wall over here?
See, this is the thing, right? So I think the reason why some women, not all, there are wonderful saints out there, don't like when we watch these movies is because they know the accent that they're going to be hearing for the next. Because now it's not going to stop in my house. It's going to continue. We're going to Olive Garden, honey.
Hey.
Get in the car.
Now, don't read this out loud, but see the comment there by T-Mass. Read that in your head, and you still hear the accent even in your head.
Yes, you do.
Hey,
everybody know why Richie did Bobby Lupo.
Like somebody's gonna go, actually, yeah, I'll tell you. No.
Crazy thing.
I'm gonna keep coming back here till somebody remembers.
Can anybody tell me why the crackhead went crazy? I can't figure it out.
Dude, he was smoking pounds of crack. Every scene he was smoking crack.
Yeah, he was smoking Everest. Like that was a mountain of crack. That was
crack. Crack's the real villain here.
Mm-hmm.
You want to know? If you want to go deep, crack is the real villain in this movie.
I didn't read it, but someone commented earlier, and sorry I forgot who it was. They said if you wanted to get to Richie, he should have killed his crack dealer or arrested him.
That's true.
I thought, oh, that's interesting.
He'd have showed up in the police station.
He would have bailed him out. Gotcha,
Yep.
Richie. Yeah, man. He had a whole pocket full of crack. He was doing his thing all day long, and I believe it wasn't one day. Yeah, it was good. Like in the morning, he was out with his family, and then like it ended at night. So yeah, that was shit was shot in real time, damn near.
Yeah. Man, what did I see where someone was a huge crackhead? Oh, the Mark Wahlberg Christian Bale movie, The Fighter, about the real boxer, the
Great movie.
middleweight champ, I think Mickey Ward.
Mickey Ward. Yeah.
That's a great movie. I just saw that 2 nights ago.
One of my favorites.
And
man.
the older brother, Christian Bale, he's a crackhead in that too. He's at this crack house.
Dick Eklund.
I
met Mickey at the boxing gym I
I
used to train at.
Say
Yeah, I
it
got a
again?
photo. I met Mickey at the gym I used to train at.
Oh, really?
Yeah, Mickey was down for a sign. I actually did a painting, drawing, illustration of Mickey for posters from the sign. Yeah.
Do you have it?
What?
Do you have it? Like a copy of it?
Yeah, I can send you the image of it. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I don't have
Take a look.
it. The gym does.
I don't know if you had it handy or something, but
Oh,
yeah.
dude, of course I would. Yeah, man.
Okay. But yeah, thinking about the cracker reminded me, I just saw that movie. I thought it was a pretty good movie.
It's a great flick.
Yeah, I wonder how true to life it is, but it was a good story though.
Yeah.
The
So-
crack is whack, man.
It
But
is.
it brought us
Apparently.
Richie. That was beautiful.
Apparently.
Yep.
I'm fascinated. I want there to be a prequel. They can't do it now because Seagal's too old, but I want to know Special Forces Gino.
Yeah, where'd you get that beret?
Right. Where'd he get that beret?
Oh,
You know,
that shit.
Was it
That
in-
opening scene where he fucked that pimp up, I was like, man. Because you don't see a guy get dragged, like thrown through the air by his necktie very often. And that shit was awesome. He threw his ass over the barrels. Fucked him up.
Oh my God.
That was wonderful, man. I love this.
This is
movie.
money on the table. Somebody's leaving money on the table, not making some old school. Please,
Shit.
somebody change that to their profile pic.
Fuck. And if you know, you know. If you know the scene of that movie, then you know that shit. They weren't even on that case. They were looking at some other shit that we didn't even know about. We didn't even know what that case was. Why they were really there.
Right.
They were on some other shit. But Gino is such a good guy. He's such a fucking stand-up guy that he couldn't let this shit go on. Gino, you're gonna blow the whole investigation. I don't care. I'm a good guy. Over here. So he goes over there and fucks that pimp up.
Yeah, Bobby says something to him, I think, about like it's $30,000 or something. There's something they're surveilling, and you're right. And then he goes over there to bust up the pimp who's messing up that lady. So yeah, I guess they're establishing again that family and tradition thing that's so important to his character, that he loves his neighborhood, he loves his family, his friends, parents, and all that. And he even in a strange way has respect for the mafia because they are a part of the community. And Richie is this character, like you said, Sean, who violates all the tradition. And it's only what Richie wants. Richie could give a shit about good or bad or anything. He doesn't care.
Yeah.
So.
And second movie in a row for Steven Seagal where his buddy wears that green jacket. Whatever that is. Because what's his name in the last one when they're carrying his ass out of the whorehouse in Mexico, he had that same green, like, you know, army issue Vietnam era jacket too. So I don't know if that's a nod to somebody he knows, but it's the second time I've seen that shit.
Wait a minute. We have someone who's been thrown by the necktie. Eric de Guapo says his grandfather threw him by his necktie when he was a kid and took a bite out of my auntie's wedding cake during the ceremony.
Was your grandpa Gino?
My grandpa was Steven Seagal. That's what it is, man.
Hey, grandpa, they're not ready to cut the cake yet. Hey, what do you want from me over here?
The prequel, first of all, is going to be animated, and Jericho is voicing Gino for the prequel of this.
I got you.
Yeah, we've got to get Madhouse or somebody who can do great action animation, some brutal violence.
The accent down, man. I've been studying this accent since I was 11 years old when it came out. I mean, it just fucking it blew me away. It was like, why is he doing this? Why not just talk as regular Seagal? He's like, nah.
Usually Seagal is kind of squinting and then talking in a whisper like this, you know.
I'm losing myself in this part.
Oh, man.
Dude, who was it his idea for Gino? Did somebody come to him with this movie, or did he say, I need to
That's all him. And the Beretta or the beret, that's all him. Because my theory, this is Seagal. He's at blockbuster movies and he's at the height of his powers right now. He can tell the producers what he wants, tell the director, no, I think it'd be better if we filmed it this way. And I really think that's who he might have been on this movie. Because some of this stuff, it's like Sticks. Someone said in the chat that it was a Filipino fighting style called Eskrima, I don't know. Could
that was Danny Santo. Yeah, he
And
was
that
Bruce, one of Bruce
that's
Lee's first students.
Yeah.
Okay, is he a Filipino guy? Because he's a Asian with the Spanish last name. A lot of times Filipinos have Spanish last names because of the the colonizers. Anyway, I think like the stick fighting, that seems like that wasn't in the script really. That was just like Seagal wanted to look badass going like this, like he was beating eggs or something.
It was 30 seconds of stick on stick. There was no hits to the body. It was just hitting their sticks together.
It's starting to sound like a different kind of movie.
Right.
He said, hey, director guy, I got a buddy of mine. He goes everywhere with me. I want to put him in the movie. Yeah.
I'm telling you, man, somebody just needs to take that movie. We have the skills, right? I've seen people put lightsabers on things, everything. Breadsticks. Hear me out. Somebody have them fighting with Olive Garden breadsticks. Make that GIF happen. It needs to happen.
I'm trying to find that scene on my phone, and maybe I could show people a little bit. I'm trying to find.
He just clack, 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 clack. I was like, what? What's the point? What are they doing? They were just hitting sticks together.
Right.
Yeah. And you're in Brooklyn in an Italian mob bar. I don't know that there are many Filipino dudes hanging out in there with sticks.
There was exactly one.
And they found
one
it.
Filipino guy.
So the guy with the sticks, what are we going to call him?
Hey.
I got it. We call him Sticks.
I got it. Sticks.
This is
it's like his son in the other movie. His name was Sonny.
Hey, what comes after S? T. Tone.
This is the Chef Boyardee School of Italian Accents. Authentic.
Over here
when you're family. When you hear
you got some bucks and memorabilia over here, some gloves over there. Oh,
who's the boxer?
Who's the boxer? You the boxer? Show me something there, tough guy.
Oh my gosh. All right. Well, it's near 6:00 here. I got to get up to that party in North Vegas.
Hey,
but next week, guys, we're gonna watch Under Siege, which it's the end of the 5 great Seagal movies. That is the climax, I guess. Maybe this was the climax. That's the denouement. I don't know, whatever you want to call it. But I love the lady coming out of the cake.
I was about to say, I feel like I need to eat some cake all of a sudden.
Right.
Nice tits. Yeah, they were. hey, it was a little left over from Out for Justice. Sorry about that.
Where's the class?
How long did it take for him to work that accent out of himself?
Oh my
God. How long?
Oh.
Right.
But yeah, that was a beautiful scene. I remember that from being a child when she came out of the cake, because he kicks it. It was like in the middle of the floor, and he's like, he kicks it out of the way, and then, yeah, man, I can't wait. I can't wait to rewatch it.
Let's see. Jericho, all you have to do is write a story similar to this movie and give it to Gabe and Shanth to draw.
That's right.
Who knows?
That's true.
Who knows?
That's true.
How do you? Is there a font in comic book that you can do an Italian accent? That Italian accent font. That's how you're meant to read it, kids.
That's how you got to read it. Over here.
Yeah.
If you're not over there,
over here. That's the name of the comic.
Over here.
Oh, happy birthday, Bub66.
Hey,
thank you guys all for coming in. But before we go, make sure you're subscribed and you like. And there's a link for Jericho's channel. If you don't know Jericho and you like him now that you've got to know a little bit about him, and there's a link to Shantha and Jetty's amazing painted comic book Nosfero. That's in there too. Check that out, please. And then there's a link to my book, Truth, Justice, American Way. It was interesting doing this show from a hotel room. I'm missing a few things I needed to do it, but I had a lot of fun. And I thank my daughter for doing such a good job getting us those photos. Something happened to Jericho. He may or may. Oh, he's back.
Nah, one of my kids.
Oh.
Damn kids.
Hey, I'm on the internet.
If I'm not over there, I'm obviously over here.
I even brought you a dog. His name's Manja.
Hey, come here.
Enjoy.
Coraggio.
Oh my God.
He got thrown out of a helicopter, but landed safely.
Thrown out of a car. Here he is. Whew.
All right. Well, thank you guys all for tuning in. And next week, Under Siege is what we'll do. And that'll be a more delightful Steven Seagal. Oh, and I guess I'll show something for those of you that came in late. Not yet. I was saying bye, but not yet. Share screen. Hold on. I showed this at the beginning, but some of you came in late, so I'll show it again. Oh, dang it. It's not open. Hold on. I got to open some files. Bear with me, folks. I'm opening something up here. I interviewed a guy, and his name is Todd Senofante, and he was Van Damme's photo double, and then lighting stand-in, and then eventually his stunt double for movies like what's the Sudden Death and Double Team and The Quest, and basically starting in 1995, and he worked with him for years. And his story, I mean, look at how much he looks like him. It's crazy. I did an hour interview with him. I recorded it. I'm going to divide it into about 4 or 5 videos. He sent me a ton of photos. He's still a working actor, living in Hollywood and all that. Most recently with Van Damme, I think he did Jean-Claude Van Johnson before the pandemic. That was an Amazon TV show. But look for these. Sorry, I'm trying to clear my throat. I've been talking too much. But yeah, he did a lot of great stunts with Van Damme, and he's personal friends with him. And it's a fascinating take, a look behind the curtain to see what it's like for an actual Hollywood stuntman and all that. And his story of how he got into this is quite amazing. So check out that stuff. I'll be posting it, I think, next week. And then Jericho and Sean, I'm going to bring him on the show with us, and he'll discuss whatever his favorite Van Damme movie that he worked on. And, we'll get to ask him all kinds of questions. So I think that'll be fascinating. He's a fun guy. He's quick-witted and all that. So I think that'll be really cool. So that'll be coming up in the next few weeks. A lot of fun with that. So
That sounds great, man. I'm looking forward to that. That's very interesting.
yeah, he's a cool dude. He's a cool dude. Todd Senofante. So I think that's Italian. We better not do that accent when he's here.
Yeah, I'll leave it here. I'll leave it all here on this one. Don't worry.
I don't know if I
All
can
right,
ever
all right.
leave that accent here.
Yeah, you take it everywhere.
That's right.
Okay, guys. So we'll see you next Wednesday, 7 p.m. We'll be back to our regular time,
Right
7
on.
p.m. Pacific. Okay.